Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the highly anticipated matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the Portland Trail Blazers on Sunday, January 19. This game is packed with intrigue thanks to injuries on both sides that could heavily influence the outcome. For the Bulls, Lonzo Ball remains out, and DeMar DeRozan is questionable with a quad injury. Without DeRozan, Chicago will lean heavily on Zach LaVine to lead the offense. Meanwhile, Alex Caruso's status is up in the air due to foot soreness, which could affect their defensive schemes. On the Blazers' side, Damian Lillard is expected to play, but Jusuf Nurkic's calf injury raises concerns about Portland's interior defense. Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons will need to step up if Nurkic is limited. Bench play could also be a deciding factor, with role players like Patrick Williams for Chicago and Shaedon Sharpe for Portland being key contributors. Both teams are hungry for a win, and with so much uncertainty, this game could go either way. Let us know in the comments who you think will come out on top. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for updates. See you next time. First off, let's set the stage. The Bulls and the Blazers have always had an interesting dynamic when they meet on the court. With both teams navigating their unique challenges this season, every game is crucial, and injuries can sometimes play a bigger role than strategy or talent. As we head into this matchup, both squads are dealing with significant roster issues. For the Bulls, injuries have been an unfortunate theme this season. Lonzo Ball remains a long-term absentee, a major blow to the team's playmaking and defensive cohesion. His absence has forced Chicago to adjust its rotations and rely more heavily on other guards like Alex Caruso and Kobe White. While these players bring their own strengths to the table, there is no denying that Lonzo's vision and court IQ are missed every time the Bulls take the floor. Speaking of Alex Caruso, let's talk about his status. Caruso has been listed as questionable for Sunday's game due to lingering foot soreness. This is concerning for Bulls fans because Caruso is not just a fan favorite but also a defensive anchor for the team. His ability to disrupt opposing offenses and his knack for timely steals make him an indispensable part of Chicago's lineup. If Caruso isn't available, the Bulls will have to lean heavily on their remaining backcourt players, potentially disrupting the flow of their defensive schemes. On the other side of the court, the Portland Trail Blazers are dealing with their own set of challenges. Damian Lillard, the heart and soul of the Blazers, has been playing through some nagging injuries this season. While he's not listed on the injury report for this game, it's worth noting that he's been managing his workload carefully to stay effective. Lillard is one of those players who can single-handedly change the course of a game, and his presence on the court is a massive advantage for Portland. However, the question always lingers: how much can he sustain this pace without wearing down? The Blazers also have Anthony Simons, who's emerged as a key contributor. Simons has been stepping up in a big way, particularly when Lillard has had to sit out or take a breather. His shooting and scoring ability provide a dynamic 1-2 punch that keeps opponents guessing. Portland's injury woes don't stop there, though. Jusuf Nurkic, their starting center, has been dealing with a lingering calf issue that has affected his availability. When Nurkic is on the floor, the Blazers have a solid presence in the paint, both offensively and defensively. He's a big body who can grab boards, block shots, and set screens to free up Portland's shooters. If he's not available or playing at full strength, it could create a significant gap in Portland's interior defense, leaving them vulnerable to Chicago's big men. Now, let's shift back to the Bulls and talk about DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan is currently nursing a quad injury, which has kept him sidelined for a few games. His absence has been a significant blow to Chicago's offensive rhythm. DeRozan is a master at creating his own shot and is one of the best mid-range scorers in the league. Without him, the Bulls lose a lot of their offensive versatility and have to rely more heavily on Zach LaVine. LaVine, of course, is more than capable of shouldering the scoring load, but it's not ideal for the Bulls to lean so heavily on one player. If DeRozan is able to return for this game, it would be a massive boost for Chicago, both in terms of scoring and leadership. Speaking of Zach LaVine, he's been on a tear lately, doing everything he can to keep the Bulls competitive despite their injury setbacks. LaVine's athleticism, shooting, and ability to finish at the rim make him one of the most dangerous players on the court. However, with the increased workload, there's always the risk of fatigue setting in. The Bulls will need other players to step up if they want to avoid overburdening LaVine, especially in a high-stakes game like this one. On the Portland side, one player to keep an eye on is Jeremy Grant. Grant has been a consistent performer for the Blazers, providing scoring, rebounding, and defensive versatility. He's one of those players who can quietly put up big numbers while also making an impact in areas that don't always show up on the stat sheet. With Nurkic potentially limited and Lillard managing his minutes, Grant's role becomes even more crucial. He'll likely be tasked with guarding Chicago's top scorers, which could be a deciding factor in how this game plays out. Another subplot to watch is the battle of the benches. Depth can often make or break a game, especially when injuries force starters to play fewer minutes or sit out altogether. For Chicago, players like Ayo Dosunmu and Patrick Williams will need to bring their game. Williams, in particular, has shown flashes of brilliance this season but needs to be more consistent to really make an impact. If he can step up and contribute on both ends of the floor, it could give the Bulls the edge they need. For the Blazers, the bench contributions of players like Shaedon Sharpe and Drew Eubanks will be critical. Sharpe is an exciting young talent who has shown the ability to score in bunches, while Eubanks provides solid rebounding and energy off the bench. If these role players can step up and fill the gaps left by injured starters, Portland could put themselves in a strong position to compete. Now, let's talk about the intangibles. Games like these often come down to more than just stats and injuries. The Bulls are playing on their home court, which could give them a slight edge in terms of energy and crowd support. However, the Blazers are a resilient team that has shown they can win on the road. It's going to come down to who wants it more, who can execute better under pressure, and which team can make the necessary adjustments as the game unfolds. One thing's for sure, this matchup has all the makings of a nail-biter. Both teams are hungry for a win, and with so many key players potentially out or playing at less than 100%, it's going to be fascinating to see how the coaches adjust their strategies. Will the Bulls be able to capitalize on Portland's lack of interior defense if Nurkic is out? Can the Blazers contain Zach LaVine if DeRozan isn't available? These are the questions that will be answered on Sunday, and I, for one, can't wait to see how it all plays out. So there you have it, folks. That's the latest on the injury report, player statuses, and what to watch for as the Chicago Bulls take on the Portland Trail Blazers this Sunday, January 19. Make sure to drop a comment below with your predictions for the game. Do you think the Bulls will come out on top, or will the Blazers find a way to overcome their challenges? And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.